Hello, Truth Seekers. This is your Conspiracy Laws host, JB. Welcome to episode 16. Today, we're going to blow the lid off how the GOP is using abortion bills in state legislatures to distract from what the Trump administration is up to. Um, if you've watched the show before, if you've seen my previous episodes, you know I try to avoid politics. There's just too much opinion involved there. It's not really a bed for facts, and I am here to only deal with the facts, deal with stuff that I've researched, that has been researched, and that I have proof of. Um, but when I see injustice, I have to speak up, and this is an issue that is near and dear to me. I I don't like it when the people in power abuse their power to distract the hoi polloi, all, distract the rest of us while they do their dastardly deeds. And I just see my Facebook news feed is just full of people weighing in about what's going on out there as far as abortion goes. There's also political cartoons all over the place. I can't look at my Garfield without seeing some sort of political cartoonist weighing in. And it seems like it's mostly people on the side of they're against these abortion bills. And actually, according to recent research, 80% of Americans are for the easy access to abortion, um, the cheap and easy access, and um, but these bills are being pushed through, and it's so reminiscent of Handmaid's Tale. Not sure if you've read Margaret Atwood, but she's a great author. You don't really hear much from the embryo lovers out there, which keep in mind this is what we're talking about, embryos. Um, Two-thirds of abortions are before week eight, and week eight is when an embryo is then considered a fetus. So we're not even talking about fetuses for the most part here. 99% of abortions are before the 20th week. So we're like, and these numbers would be a lot higher if people had easier access to abortions. But what the embryo lovers want you to believe is that there's these full-grown babies just sitting inside their mother's womb, just they're uh, they're being aborted, whereas they could just pop out and be adopted. That is not at all what's happening here. Late term abortions are so rare, and when they do happen, they're for good reason. They're to save a life. They're because maybe the baby's already dead. Like they're it's done to flush things out. I don't know. You should probably talk to a woman about this. I just know the statistics that they're not happening late. They're not happening in 30 weeks on, unless there's a very good medical reason for it. So recently, out of nowhere, abortion bills started springing up, being signed in state legislatures, Georgia, Alabama, Ohio, Texas, Michigan, everywhere. They're all they all look very similar, although there's a little bit of one-upsmanship between them, and they're all being presented. They're all there's one group behind all of it. It's a coordinated GOP effort, and it's lobbyists pushing. It's just a mess, and it's a way to circumvent what the people want. All of these bills are completely unconstitutional and won't hold up to court. I think the goal is for there to be a showdown in the Supreme Court, but these bills aren't even going to make it that far. it's already been decided in Roe versus Wade. There hasn't been any constitutional amendments to change it. So there's really no reason for the Supreme Court to even hear the cases. Once these get into, so they've been in the legislative branch of most states, but once they are tried, once they're in a judicial setting, there's no way these laws are going to hold up. They're unconstitutional AF. So Republicans, so why are they out there? Republicans are just wasting all of our time. It's a distraction and it's working. They're doing it. They're getting it done. Um, Now all of us are being distracted with this abortion stuff, and I understand that we need to remain vigilant about making sure that abortion remains legal and that people can have easy access to it. That like even if they don't have the money, they can get an abortion. Um, but it's really a distraction. Um, so there are a couple ways you can tell that it's definitely a distraction. First, look at what was going on before these abortion bills suddenly sprung up. Uh, there was the investigation into Attorney General Barr, as well as Trump, and now you suddenly don't hear anything about it. No one's calling for Barr to step down, which he should. He should be gone. No one's calling for Trump's head. There are no impeachment proceedings. No one's really pressuring for that. Instead, we're all caught up in this this charade of of government. These abortion bills. Uh, a lot of stuff's going on right now. Trump is shoving things through with regards to immigration. He's closing our borders so that uh, he wants to keep out the rapists and murderers, so to speak, but he's just making it so good people can't come in. People who have jobs and who will make America great. He's not letting them in now. He's also creating all these tariffs with China. Um, that doesn't help anyone, the tariffs. It just makes China raise tariffs against us, and this isn't really a war yet, but we do have a skirmish. We're going to see prices of a lot of products go up, which hurts us. We're going to see that China is going to stop importing stuff from the United States because it's too expensive. They are they buy a lot of our food, and so this is going to hurt farmers who are already subsidizing quite a bit. Um, Also, it came to light that Trump is a tax dodger. He games the system. That came to light right before these abortion bills, and suddenly you don't hear anything about it. Uh, he's been stealing from taxpayers through Mar-a-Lago and all of his different resorts. He goes there as often as he can and charges the taxpayers for his trips. It's pretty ridiculous. Another thing you may not have noticed is Trump has been pardoning criminals left and right. People who are in prison for fraud, white collar crimes, of course, his cronies. He wants to keep the poor suffering. Also, the ongoing attack on blacks, Jews, and LGBT folks continues, and no one's looking. He's just having a field day. So what can we do about this? So if you're going to stay in the fray, this abortion fray, if you're going to continue um, to challenge people and talk about it, just keep in mind that you're being distracted. So you need to pay extra special attention to what else is going on. Um, if you're going to devote time to um, being like fighting these abortion bills, devote at least as much time to keeping track of what else is going on. Look at the investigations, the attacks on minorities in this country. Pay attention. And don't just yell into the echo chamber to register your disgust. Instead, get out and do something. You could volunteer to be a Planned Parenthood escort, where when people come in for abortions, you walk with them into the building and kind of shield them from protesters. I don't know why these protesters don't like. Okay, you're against abortions, just don't have an abortion then. There you go, all set. Or, dude, have a vasectomy. Keep your hands off of women's bodies and have a vasectomy so that you won't uh, force a woman into a situation where she has to decide whether to have an abortion or not. It's that simple. Um, I've had a vasectomy. It's so easy. And you get so much respect for doing it. I don't get a lot of respect, but I did for that. So if you have any questions or ideas, please comment below. Please support the truth by subscribing to the Conspiracy Laws channel and sharing the truth with your friends. We'll be back tomorrow with an episode about how the US healthcare industry is being used to control the 99%. You won't want to miss that. In the meantime, think about what we uncovered today. We awake the world tomorrow.